COVID-19 pandemic has forced many of our students to resort to using online learning platforms. Well, our public libraries have risen to the challenge to help our students maximize their learning potential. We know that many of our textbooks can be kind of costly for some of our parents, so our public libraries have launched a textbook drive. Go to your bookshelf, locate some of the textbooks our children no longer need. I'll take this one. Maybe this one. We don't need this one anymore either. And I know we don't need this one anymore. But our libraries do. Just pack them up, place them in a box, and take them to your nearest public library. After all, King Solomon said, "And as to the making of books, there shall be no end." In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, libraries throughout the country are reminding our students that they are open and ready to offer them a place to commune, learn, and study. Minister of Education Jeffrey Lloyd has said that our libraries are being enhanced in order to fully meet the needs of all of our students.
Since 2019 early, the government has been on an upgrade of all of our school campuses to make them a smart campus. Those will be accessed by the students to facilitate their learning and their own research possibilities.
The minister is encouraging a collaborative effort among all education stakeholders to assist with helping our students maximize their online studies.
I do want to encourage our communities, particularly our churches and other organizations that do have spaces that can be made available to our students. You know, whether that church has an extra hall or an extra room that can be equipped to provide the safe and, as you mentioned, quiet space for our students to learn. And to do so with some supervision, obviously, so that the student recognizes the importance and the seriousness of this venture.
Supervisor at the Elizabeth Estates Library, Ms. Danielle Lightbourne, said that the library is ready to provide a space for all students to enhance their academic experience.
We have a special collections room that houses the Bahamian collection, the Caribbean collection. We have some of the school book textbooks that they use in school is kept in that room. The students can come in, request the book or a topic, and we will find the book for them that has that topic, and they can look at it in the library. We also have a children's area specially designed for the kids. We have an area where they can use their laptops, of course 6 feet apart, practicing social distancing. We also have an audio-visual room that is specially designed for media meetings. So if you have your Zoom meetings, or if you have a physical meeting, you, of course, not too many people in that room. You can have your meetings in there. You just ask us to schedule a date when you can come, a date and a time, and we will accommodate you. Special collections books, they're not allowed to leave the library. You can ask us, like I said, for the topic or the title of the book, and we will bring the book out to you. You can then sit in the reference area that is provided and use the material. And when you're done with it, you return it back to the staff that gave it to you. We also have virtual newspaper clippings, virtual files. We offer for projects, for research. If a student has a project to complete, especially the coursework students, we will be ready.
Excellent. Supervisor at the Wolf Road Library, Ms. Marsha Major, has also been putting in place plans to welcome our students, despite the COVID-19 restrictions.
We've been purchasing various items you need. You know, we got the plexiglass installed, we've got masks, face shields, masks with the staff wearing masks. We put a floor decal on the ground and outside. And right now, you know, we're open, but we're not. We cater to Stephen Dillard right next door. We have C.C. Sweetington and C.C. Sweetington Senior, Tate Thompson, C.I. Gibson students coming Primary School, that would be Columbus Primary. So basically all the schools, and we even have Sarah Walker. So basically most of the schools in this area, we have various textbooks. Anything that I can find information that I know kids could use, I bring it in, or adults for that matter.
Mrs. Dorcas Bowler, Director of the Ministry of Education Library Services, said while online learning is imperative at this time, it should be supplemented with the use of the written material.
Internet has not replaced libraries in no which way, because in any crisis situation where there's a downturn in the economy, usually the masses turn to the public library in particular, although they use the school libraries, academic libraries, also special libraries. So we are encouraging persons to take note of our libraries. Right here in New Providence, we have 12 centers and various branch libraries throughout the islands of the Bahamas, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We are looking to expand our library system so we would be totally automated. Libraries are on the move. It's not like persons think just a storehouse of books, although we do have books, but there is a mixture between the old technology or the conventional technology with the new technology, with using tablets, the Wi-Fi, as you said, computers. We as information specialists and librarians, we need to find ways, innovative ways to encourage the use of our libraries. We don't want they're just sitting in the four walls there, but we want persons to come in, and we are happy to have them in, and any which way that we can assist them, whether it's with their textbooks, whether it's for reading for pleasure, or just coming to the library for a quiet space to study. We are there to help.
Ms. Debbie Johnson, who serves as a literacy coordinator and librarian at Sandilands Primary School, said her school's library was putting in place the infrastructure to facilitate online learning even before COVID-19 started.
One of the things that we have actually been doing even prior to COVID is having students come into the library, not only utilizing the various books and materials that we have, but students along with the teachers have been allowed to come into the library to utilize the resources, the laptops that we have to do research information, also to get additional assistance with the reading as well, because there are online programs that they can use to assist with the reading. So even prior to COVID, the school was already, without knowing it, I guess, making that transition into the virtual world. The resources that we have in the library, they're more related to students, I guess, embracing or enjoying reading. It's to promote and encourage reading. It's more for pleasure. We do have one or two reference materials like the encyclopedias that some people may think is archaic, but in order for the children to appreciate, I guess, what they do have with technology at hand, it's good for us to be able to reference back to the encyclopedias so they can see how students before them, older students at Sandilands Primary, what they would have had to use when they needed to find information.
Ms. Johnson said that reading is key to learning, and her school has made a commitment to promote reading and comprehension skills.
One of the things that we did at our school was started an online reading club that came out during COVID, because the students were no longer able to come to the library to borrow books, and I know that a lot of them would have been missing the opportunity to read, and so I came up with the idea to do an online book club, and the platform that we used was Epic and also Seesaw, and those platforms or those apps, what they basically do is allow the students to read the books, and then they would do various activities related to the books, and they can then respond to the book however they choose to. If they wanted to respond to it, creating their own video, doing a written piece, however, there was no limit as to how they could creatively respond to the piece that they read. The social distancing now, limiting the amount of students that are in a particular space, I think it provides the perfect opportunity now to have those small groups come into the library utilizing, the various technologies, the laptops and things that we have to, to now work in those small groups to be able to help those students build not only their reading but their comprehension skills as well. I think the pride that I see the children have when they are allowed to borrow the books, especially the younger ones, when they borrow that book for the first time. We had students who, they may not have been able to read the words on the pages, but the pride with which they walked around school with that book in their hand to say, okay, I've now borrowed this book. So one of the things that we've tried to do here at Sandlands Primary School is to build that culture where students not only see the importance of books, but they have a sense of pride about the fact that they're able to come into the library to borrow a book, to read the book. And like I always say to them, books is something, you may not have left the Bahamas, but books is something that give you the opportunity to travel the world, because from reading that book now, you're able to imagine other places, you're able to imagine other cultures and various different things, because you get caught up in the life of the character.
Miss Althea Hamilton Grant, Assistant Director of Education at the Ministry of Education, believes that libraries, and by extension the reading of books, is key to successful academic experience. She's encouraging education stakeholders to support their local libraries.
Recycling of textbooks by students who have attended schools. Here's an interesting way of giving back to your school. And normally you just throw those books away because you figure you're not going to use them anymore. So that's a good idea to donate it to your school's library, and someone else can, get information or use it for, for their good and for their knowledge. I have my textbooks that I use from I was teaching in RN Baby. I was responsible for the BJC and BGCSE examinations, and so I can start the drive with my own books and donate them to one of the libraries. To the general public and those who are education centric, we would like for you to participate in our drive to garner support for you sending in all the specific textbooks for primary school, the BJC and the BGCSE. And we would welcome your support. Those books that you have lying around catching dust on shelves, we can make use of those, because there are some students that are unable to provide or obtain books. Some parents are unable to provide for them. And having been a teacher in the classroom myself, I recognize that in some respects, our parents' values are different from ours. So we are the ones who are the education officers and practitioners. So let's get behind those of you who have books and can get those books to us. We can use them in our libraries, in the school, and in the public libraries as well. We want them in good condition. And if I'm giving a gift, I would give the best. If I would want to be given what I can use, I would want to be given what is good and excellent, okay? And so I would give my best. Right. So I'm expecting that with the drive, persons would give their best as well.
Indeed, the goal is that our students should be equipped with all of the tools to do their very best, according to Minister Lloyd.
But I'd also like to encourage our people to be positive and to be encouraging and to be inspirational to our students. This is a really challenging time. None of us have ever had to encounter what we are now dealing with, certainly in terms of the pandemic, but look also what this country has now had to endure in successive years with hurricanes, Dorian being the most serious. So we as adults can manage a little bit more probably proficiently than can, say, for instance, younger people. So to encourage them and to speak a word of encouragement and positivity and upliftment in their lives, and tell them that they can do it. Tell them that they will overcome these times. Tell them that they have a bright and great and wonderful future for them. And not only just say it, but also prove it. And again, by these community organizations, churches, opening their doors and making available their spaces so that our people, our young people in particular, can have a place where they want to go ahead and pursue their studies.
I am Denise Pratt for EdTalk.